What is up, YouTube fam? Welcome back to another one of my video vlogs. And this one we are going to talk about the topic of preventing injury, physical injury. For those of us that are high performers, put our bodies through hell, we work out every day, if not every other day, or very consistently. We are very active individuals and we do not want to get injured, you feel me? Because if we get injured, then that knocks us off our consistent path of fucking getting after it, putting our body through a lot of physical conditioning or sports or whatever it is you enjoy and love to do. We want our bodies to remain healthy, strong, vital, very mobile, good flexibility, not overly flexible, which then puts stress on ligaments and joints and makes your body unstable, and then you get pain and inflammation syndromes. But we want a certain level of flexibility and good strength and overall a good foundation and basis of knowledge of knowing what it takes to prevent injury and just overall good health. You want to be at a base where you feel strong and capable and you know you're not going to get injured. And how do we prevent injuries? Before we talk about what we're going to talk about, those of you that aren't new to the channel, you already know how I love to do things around here. I love to smoke up that herb with all of you virtually, wherever the fuck you are on the planet. Let me know down in the comments wherever you're at, what you're smoking on, name of your strain, type of strain, throw it down below. You know I want to know. I'm here in Cali, LA, San Fernando Valley. I'm puffing on the Buddies brand indica strain. The name of my strain is Marshmallow OG. And yeah, let's take a couple blinkers. Let's get faded before we talk about how to fucking prevent injury, you feel me? This might not be interesting to many of you, but I could care less. It's interesting to me, and if it gives off value to one or two of you, it's all that fucking matters, you feel me? Because that is my intention behind this video, to give off valuable information that I know benefits me and my active lifestyle, and I know will benefit any and all of you, whoever chooses to implement this knowledge, you feel me? So let's take a dab, let's take a blinker. Cheers. Blinker number one on the vlog, not number one of the day though, because you already know how that go. Let's take another rip. Cheers, man. Blinker number two, and I'm getting faded. How about you? All right, you guys, throw a thumbs up, leave a love comment, support your boy and growing the channel further, getting in the algorithms. I've been lacking on making consistent content. But anyways, how do we prevent injury? You want to follow this 4-step rule always, every day, any day, all the time when you're going to be active. This is something that I've learned through the Czech Academy. I am enrolled currently in the Czech Institute, Czech Academy, Paul Czech's creation, right? And we're learning a lot about kinesiology, a lot about the human anatomy, how the body moves, functions, works, what it needs to be healthy, vital, strong, and many other things within the realm of holistic health and well-being, right? I'm learning a ton of shit, and I got 3 more years to go to complete this academy. I am a Czech level 1 practitioner, so I have a lot of good basis of understanding when it comes to knowing how to prevent injury. Now, when it comes to actually rehabilitating certain injuries in the body, like the knee, the shoulder, the neck, the spine, anything, that's what I am still learning, how to actually go about doing physical manual therapy with my hands and actually knowing how to help people rehabilitate very severe to minor fucking injuries, you feel me? So I'm in the process of that, but this first year I did learn how to prevent injury so that we don't have to rehabilitate in the first place. And so basically the 4-step rule that you always want to follow to ensure that your body is strong and stable and not going to get injured is to always start your routine with flexibility, which means stretching. And when you stretch, you only want to stretch specifically parts of your body that feel tight, muscles that feel tight. If your hamstrings, which are the muscles behind your legs, they feel tight, stretch those out. If your biceps feel tight, stretch that out. If your chest feels tight, stretch your chest. Your abs, your neck, if your neck is tense, you feel aches or tweaks in your neck, stretch your neck. Stretch out your body. It doesn't have to be your entire body unless your whole body is tight and you haven't stretched in years. Then just do a full body stretch, but start your movement active routine with stretching always. It doesn't matter what level of fitness you're at. If you're a tier 1 Delta Force operator functioning at the highest fit capacity a human being can, you should still be fucking starting your routine with stretching. Do I know if those guys stretch? No, probably not. You feel me? There are a lot of fucking meatheads, which is cool, but still, stretching, we should all, my point is, it doesn't matter if you're at that level or barely even starting out. We should always start our routine with stretching and only stretching muscles that are tight. That's number one. When you finish stretching, the next thing you want to work on to ensure you're going to be preventing injury is stability. The 4 things are flexibility, stability, then strength, and then power. Most people in the gym, especially guys that are in sports, MMA, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, boxing, anything, football, they go straight into strength and power and some cardio, right? Without, sometimes, yes, they warm up and stretch before they get into their stuff, but they don't do intelligent stretching where they specifically only stretch muscles that are tight and do that day in, day out. You feel me? Even if you're not going to work out today, you should still stretch muscles that are tight, because stretching, basically, long story short, brings your body into balance so that all of your joints in your spine and your shoulders, any joints in your body, are all getting equally distributed load share, and no joints are getting too much load and getting compressed, torsioned, or sheared on, and etc. You know, you want the body to stay balanced, and part of that is not just keeping an upright posture, but making sure that certain muscles aren't tighter than other ones and that they're all at the same level. Because if my right oblique is tighter than my left oblique, you can see how it's pulling me to the right, and that's putting specific load on certain joints of the spine, etc., causing eventually chronically over time pain and inflammation syndromes that we don't want. So stretching is always key. Flexibility is always key, and then stability is very crucial. A lot of athletes don't train their stability, their reflex profiles, and Vladimir Yanda, a very credible scientific researcher in the orthopedic health field, back in his day, did some research and found out that we are likely to prevent 80%. There's an 80% chance of prevention from any and all orthopedic injuries when we develop our reflex profiles, if that makes any sense. I forgot the exact terms, but that's basically what he said. And what that translates to is basically our ability to react. And what works on our stability and reactive skills, things such as, Swiss balls. This isn't a Swiss ball, but it's similar to a Swiss ball. A Swiss ball is, those round gym balls. If you were to put both of your knees on it and you have to, you lift your feet off the ground, you have to balance your center of gravity on that ball so you don't fall over, and you have to constantly keep making different moves, different decisions, and that's working on your stability and your inner unit tonic muscles that are very neurologically active. They have a high population of what are called spindle cells, and spindle cells send a bunch of information to the brain, keeping your joints stable and in alignment. So things that you don't really need to know or probably don't understand, but my point is to put it in layman's terms. You want to first stretch, then work on your stability. And you need a fucking Swiss ball or something like this where you just put it on the floor, you stand on it with 1 foot or 2 feet, and it wobbles, and you have to like balance on it. Like, show you guys an example. As I stand on it, I have to like balance on this thing, and that works on all of those stabilizer muscles that keep all of the joints in the body stable. Standing on that alone is going to work all of the stability muscles around the knee joints. So if you guys are dealing with knee pain or knee issues, work on your stability muscles, and I know for a fact that shit will improve, if not go away. You feel me? So you always want to start with flexibility, then stability, and then once your body is well balanced and in good alignment from stretching correctly, mobilizing using a foam roller if you have to, which I highly recommend. It is very beneficial. Once you're good at that, and once you feel like you've developed maybe 2 to 3 or 4 weeks, a whole month of just stability work, working on a Swiss ball, getting those inner unit muscles very developed, well toned, then work on your strength. And your strength and stability should match each other, because if your inner unit stability muscles are stronger than your outer unit phasic muscles, which is developed with strength exercises, then that's going to create further imbalance in the body that I don't want to get into, that will confuse you. You want to keep both systems at the same level of strength. You're only as strong as your weakest link, you feel me? So work on both, don't deny both. But first you do want to develop that stability system, so that when you do head into strength exercises and put load on your back or above your head or whatever, you don't want to get injured, and you won't get injured because your inner unit deep stabilizing small muscles are well developed and they're distributing load equivalently, and you're not getting compression, torsion, or shearing on your joints, and you're feeling strong, young, and fucking capable, you feel me? Functional exercise is basically capable. It means being capable, like serving the purpose for which it was designed for. If your body can't move, if you're not moving correctly, you're feeling joints and aches, pains, you're not functional, and you're not doing functional movement. You can't functionally move. So how do you get rid of all that, and how do you prevent that? Start with flexibility, work on your stability, then go to strength with lifting weights, and then if you want to go further and you're a high performing athlete, like I mentioned in the beginning of this video, then work on your power. But don't start with working on power, because you can't fire a cannon out of a canoe. And that's the saying that came from Paul Chek, the Chek Institute. And what that means is, if your inner unit tonic stabilizer muscle groups are weak and you're trying to throw a heavy hard ass fucking punch, you can't throw that out of a fucking weak inner unit system. So if you want to throw harder, hit harder, throw longer, if you're a baseball player, harder, whatever, then develop your stability, work in that order. So that way you can fire a cannon out of a fucking Titanic ship, you feel me? Imagine that compared to a canoe. Anyways, yep, that is going to be it for this long ass vlog. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. 1 or 2 of you got some good ass value out of it. I'm fucking faded. So let's take one more dab to close it out. Make sure to leave the thumbs up, support your boy. Cheers, fam. Oh shit, standing on the fucking stability ball thing. Alright, you guys, hopefully you enjoyed the vlog, gained some value. Stretch whatever's tight, Work on your stability, buy a Swiss ball, then hit the weights. Hit the weights intelligently, not isolated. Do integrated movement exercises with kettlebells, mace clubs, etc. Follow me on Instagram if you need more ideas on what type of exercises are integrated movements. And number 4, then work on your fucking power. And yeah, catch you guys in the next video. Peace.